Yes, I'm live. Should be live. Okay, yep. Okay, so, yes, I'm live. Hey, what's going on, guys? Should be live. This is George Shamon, and in this live stream, I'm gonna go over some platforms to make a website. And as you saw the title, make a website without HTML5, CSS3. If you're tuning in, I want to thank you so much on this live stream. This is George Shamon, and I'm coming to you live from the U.S. state of South Dakota. If you're tuning in from the U.S., let me know what state are you in. If you're from overseas, let me know what country are you tuning in from. If you have any questions, submit it in a comment. And as you saw the title, I'm going to be talking about platforms that you can build a website without using HTML5, CSS3, and other coding languages. And then I'm going to go in brief about the languages, what are they. Some of us want to build a website, but we are not programmers and we don't know how to code. And you hear about websites and web pages are made of the uh, the main elements are HTML, CSS. So the HTML is the building block of a web page, and the CSS is the way you style those blocks or those elements, like the colors, the background, the borders, etc. And there's more important element, which is JavaScript. Now, HTML5 is a markup language. It's not a programming language. And the CSS is not a programming language. It's a styling language, you know. So it takes care of the style of a web page that already have HTML. So basically, HTML and CSS, they work together. You cannot separate them. I mean, you can separate them, but you'll end up with a element on a web page that don't have style, don't have colors, don't have borders, don't have any format to them. So, and then you have the JavaScript. JavaScript is a scripting language. Some people call it programming language, but the way I see it is a scripting language. And because when you say programming, usually it's like Java, C++, Fortran, COBOL, those are programming languages. So the way I look at JavaScript, I don't see it as a programming language. I see it as a scripting language, because when you read it, it's like English-like. It's not like the C and C++ and other programming languages that, computer science students in colleges, study those. So if you want, so we can talk about the ways that you can build a website without using those coding languages, if you want to call them, the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So let's start with, I mean, I'm sure there are so many um, platforms that you can make a website without HTML and CSS. And I mean, it's gonna be anyway, any web page, it's gonna be built with HTML, CSS. But the difference is you don't do the manual coding yourself. You can use other software like website builders or platforms or themes, but it doesn't mean it doesn't have HTML, CSS. It has those elements, those coding languages, but you're using another layer, which is the website builder, like the drag and drop, and using the GUIs. And the underlying codes are the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So basically, you're using platforms like software as a service, or that it will help you build a site without using the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And an example of those is the website builder that's introduced in self web hosting. I'm not sure if every self web hosting have it, but the one I have now is Hostinger, and I built a website on. It's a very simple website. If you want to check it out, it's georgekcwebservices.com. So I used a website builder, and it's what it does. It's a drag and drop website builder. Or what you do, you log in into your web hosting, and once you log in, you go to website builders, and then you start. You look on the left side of the pane. There's a frame that has so many elements, and you just drag those elements that you want to use. Let's say you want to add a paragraph, and it's going to have uh, text. So basically, you look on the left side, and there's text box. So what you do, you click on it, and you drag it to the middle of the page where you want to place the paragraph approximately, and you release it. You'll end up with a box with markup text in the middle of the page. And what you can do, you can control the text and the color and so on uh, by doing editing this box. You go to the top and you hit edit, and you can move the box to different locations. It doesn't have to be in one spot, and you cannot change it. You can move it around, just drag drag and drop it, just or click on a mouse and move it around, and once you click to move it around, the background of your website, of the page, it will give you a grid to give you an idea how where you're moving the elements to, like how far is it from the left side, the right side, up and down, and so basically you're using this easy drag and drop software to replace your knowledge with HTML, without using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But HTML and CSS and JavaScript, you still can use them if you want to do any modification or any editing to your website. You can still use them, but you don't have to learn them. I mean, the more you can do more customization. So let's say you have a web page or theme, and then you want to customize it. Then you kind of go down to the code, and you kind of edit the code to see how it looks like. But you don't have to if you want to build a site and without using any codes. So this is one of the ways: website builder on a self-hosted a platform, or software company like the one I'm using. I'm using Hostinger. That's a self-hosted company, and I used the drag and drop. I had the choice to use WordPress, but I didn't want to use WordPress in the beginning. I've used it long time ago, and I know it's got, you have to deal with the plugins and a lot of updates. Even though WordPress is one of the best platforms, and it powers over 30, 35 of the internet websites. So it's very important. But I tried it, and so this is the second platform, WordPress. So basically, WordPress, you still need a web hosting, self-hosted web hosting account, and then you will install WordPress on the top of it, and then you install the plugins you need. But because WordPress is very famous and very widespread, and it powers like over 35 of the internet, according to some resources like um, W3 Tech, I think. So so Yeah, that's another platform, the WordPress. And WordPress can be free if you want to install it yourself. I mean, your web hosting has the capability to, with a click of a button, you can install the WordPress. But the problem is, you have some of them, most of them actually, you have to take care of the plug-in and the updates, and the site keeps updating those, and you keep getting notification. That's why I didn't want to keep going with WordPress. You keep getting notification that there's a new plugin installed, or update your plugin, or do certain things, So the best thing is to take one of those platforms. Okay, the third one is Weebly, and then you have. I tried Weebly. I think it's kind of simple. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles of other web hosting. And then you have oh, you have Wix. Wix is very famous, and it's a great platform. I did not use it, but I can tell once I went there, and they have a lot of options, a lot of templates. It's a great platform, Wix. And there's another one. Uh, there, there are a lot, but they're smaller scale, not very famous. And there's one, um, yeah, and Squarespace. Squarespace is a great platform, and then you have Shopify. Those two platforms are great for, for e-commerce, and for basic website like Squarespace, basic website, and then you can add uh, the capability of adding, if you want, a blog for Squarespace, and you can add e-commerce if you want, but it's gonna go up a little bit. So yeah. So if you're tuning in, guys, and you're on this live stream, make sure you drop a comment in the box and let me know if you have any question about. We're talking about making websites without using HTML5 and CSS3. So you can DIY your website without learning how to code, because there are hosted platforms or hosted websites. They are ready just to use them. So anybody else? Anybody have a question about what the platform to use to build a website, and how big is the platform? And WordPress has a big share of the market. It powers over 35% um, of the website building platforms. And but the thing is, you have to worry about, if you're new and you're building a website using WordPress, you have to keep worrying about the plugins, and how you can update them. Are you can update them, or your web hosting will update them? And there are some platforms that they're already optimized for WordPress, and they can, you know, uh, so WordPress, yeah, yeah. So WordPress, what else? So if you're on this live stream, let me know if you have any question, and drop a comment in our comment box. Let me know where you're tuning in from. So Anybody on this live stream have a question, please let me know so I can answer you or direct you to the right resources. I want to thank you for tuning in, whether you're on a live now or you will be on the future replay. Thank you. I do appreciate your attention. So, and again, we're talking about the making a website without HTML, CSS, and we're talking about the website builders that you use to build a website without using those languages. So, any questions? Hey guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel so so I can make more videos, and let me know what you're interested in, what you want to learn about. So, anybody else have a question? I guess no more questions, or nobody have any question to help to help them. No one. Guys, if you're tuning in now, I want to thank you so much. Drop a comment in the box and let me know where you're tuning in from. We're talking about making a website without using HTML, CSS. If you're not a programmer and you want to make a website, you can do that without knowing the programming language, the coding languages. There are so many platforms that you can build a website without using codes, you know. It's a software like a website builder, and the underlying product is codes, but that you don't have to use. This is the interface. And for example, you have Weebly, Wix, Squarespace. Um, those are hosted websites where you don't have to start a website from scratch. You can use a template, and and you can add the text and pictures to it. You know, using templates is very helpful for your for finishing quickly a website, or instead of coding it hand by hand. You know, and I don't think anybody can do that. You know what we dropped. So. Anybody have any question? Guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow it, and let me know where you're tuning in from. And if you have any question or comments, submit them in the box. And let me know if you have any topic in mind you want me to talk about for the next live stream. So let me know. Again, this is George Shimon, and I'm coming to you live from the U.S. state of South Dakota in the Midwest. If you're tuning in from the US, let me know what state are you in from. If you're overseas, let me know what country are you tuning in from. And so this is what it is. Yeah, I'll be hanging out for a few minutes in case someone have a question about making a website without using HTML5 or CSS3. So it's, even though you want to build a website without using HTML, CSS, and other coding languages, and you can do that, but it's a good idea to know the basics. Just know the basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in case you want to make changes to your website in the future. You know, you don't need to hire someone. So. Anybody have a question, let me know. Submit your questions in a comment box. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're on this live stream or on a future replay, I want to thank you so much. I value your attention, and it helps me a lot growing the channel. This way I can keep adding videos and, you know, making videos about topics you're interested in, because the best subjects and ideas for a video or any other published material, it's the best way is to get the idea from others, so yeah, so this is about we're talking about the platforms that you can use to build a website without using HTML, CSS. Even though those platforms, they have the capability of letting you use HTML, CSS, but you don't have to. And I can give you an example like Squarespace, Weebly, Wix. You don't have to do any programming with them. So, because if you want to use HTML, CSS from scratch, it's gonna be difficult to come up with a web page which is meaningful unless you have material and reference to follow it. Because when you're by yourself, uh, it's gonna be difficult. So who else have a question? Any comment? Any topics? Let me know if you have any questions. So again, this is George Shamoun, and this is my YouTube channel, Web Page Coder, one word. And if somebody is sick or something happened, they can send you the help. So who else? Anyone have a question? Comments? Topics you're interested to learn about? I talk about coding web pages, HTML, CSS, using Visual Studio Code, building website, using a website builder without coding, and installing templates. So let's see. So yeah, if you want to build a website, it's not that complicated. It depends what you want to do with it. If it's e-commerce, you want to sell from your website and get paid, it's going to be more complex than a portfolio website where you talk about uh, your achievements and your personality and your certificates, degrees, etc. Anybody else have a question? As if you have any questions, submit it in a comment and let me know if you can hear me. I can't even know if you're hearing me or not because nobody is responding. So let me know if you can hear me. That's very important. This way I keep using the same setup. At least I know it's working. So and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're interested in this kind of topics about software and software as a service and local software on your computer. So Anybody else have a question? Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this live stream. I'm here to help you and to build a website without using codes like HTML, CSS. And there are ways to do that. So, all right. So let's get to questions. If somebody have a question, I can answer them right now. So, anybody have a question? Again, we're talking about making websites without using the raw HTML5 CSS3. But obviously, they're not going to go anywhere. They don't disappear. They're in the coding of the page. But let's see. Anyone on this live stream has used Shopify, Squarespace, Weebly, Wix? Anybody used the independent web hosting account? If so, drop it in the comment and let me know what you're using. All right. So yeah, and also you don't have to use the drag and drop to make a website using an existing template. You can switch the templates and you can use it to your for your project. It will be different. Let me add this. Ask questions. If you have any question, ask it now. Ask a question. All right. So, any questions about making a website? About making a website. All right, so I added a comment if somebody is interested to know. He knows where to go. Who else? Any questions? Anybody have a question? Okay, I guess we don't have any questions coming in. And all right, let's see. All right, let's see. I'm hanging out to see if somebody have a question so I can answer. Questions, comments. All right, I guess nobody have a question. All right, no comments. Anybody have a question to me for me? Questions, exercise. All right. Let's see any questions. All right, I guess I'm gonna have to wrap it up because there's no activities and nobody is responding. So, all right, guys, I wanna wrap it up for this evening, and I wanna thank you so much for tuning in. Uh, Let me know if you have any questions, and I will do my best to reply with my knowledge. If not, I'll send you somewhere else. So, all right, that's it, I guess. All right, guys, have a good evening, everyone. This live stream has been finished. All right, so have a good night, good evening, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates, you know. Yeah.